Hey farmers, what's going on? Welcome back to the part one of how to manage a series that I've started, in which I'm going to tell you guys how to manage your farm, especially when you come back in the game after a long time. The reason I started this series is because I'm playing Hay after, properly after 6 months. I was on a really long break. You guys know I had university and I just had a lot of other things going on, which were really unexpected, but I guess that's what life really is. And now I'm back. I haven't managed my farm. You guys can see my farm's been the same for ages. And I'm going to divide this series into 5 to 6 parts in which we're going to focus on a certain part. And today my main focus, you guys, is the crops. Now, believe it or not, crops, in my opinion, are now more important than the barn. So a lot of people, back in 2016 and 2017, silo didn't used to be that much of a talk in the community. People didn't really used to focus on the silo. It was just barn. Everyone was talking about the barn. They had to upgrade their barn. But now it's not the same case. We have so many crops. We've been getting crops in almost every update. We just recently got the oats. So this means we need to focus on the crops as well. So your main goal when you come back in the game after a long time, or even, you don't come back after a long time, you've just been playing regularly, is to make sure you have all the crops and you're able to make your products and you can sell them to make money and you still have some space in your silo. Now, the reason I'm starting this with the crops is because of my personal preference. I always start my game with the crops. You guys might start your game with the machines, with the town, but I always do it with the crop. The goal should be to be able to harvest new crops. And now you saw that my silo is full. This means I need to check what's going on. Can I upgrade it? No, I can't. So I'm going to see what is the reason my silo is so full. Of course, there are some crops that I have too many. There are some crops that I've not been using. So there's a chance that when you come back in the game after a long time, some of the crops are going to be in a really high amount. And then there's some crops that you're going to be missing. So if you're missing any crop, what you can do, you can either ask your neighbors, you can go to Facebook or Discord and you can trade crops, or you can just ask your friends for that. Or if you have baby farms, then you can transfer those crops from there to your main farm. For example, if I have a look at my crops, actually I do have all of them, so it's not a problem, but usually I don't have the tomatoes and cotton, and I have those crops planted at my baby farm. So let's start doing some work. All right, I see you have a lot of peanuts, and peanuts nowadays are not that of use, so I think I'm just going to put them. They're too extra, and of course, then you can earn money by selling your crops. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll just keep 80 to myself because I think that's actually enough. I don't know the reason why I have so many peanuts. It's probably because I've just been collecting them and not using them anywhere. And that's going to be my second part. You can, of course, use your crops. So let's see what I can do. Okay, that's a lot of that stuff there. And then I see that I have a lot of garlic and lilies. These are the crops that I don't keep in high amount. I just keep in 150 to 160. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Can I harvest my crops now? That should be your main goal, if I can harvest my crops or not. Okay, my cell is still got full. Not a problem. We'll just see what's happening. Okay, you know what? I'm going to plant this new crop that just came in the game. So make sure you always have the crops and plant those crops that you are low on. Prioritize the crops according to your time. For example, currently I'm active, so I'm obviously going to be planting the crops that take less time, like carrots, corn, wheat. You can also check the paper to get those crops if you can easily find them. Let's see if I can get something that I need. Not really, but yeah, and then you can, of course, keep selling. So let's see what else I can sell. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of cotton on my baby farm, so I just don't need it. I'm just going to be putting it out. Okay, and never stop upgrading your silo, you guys. Nowadays, honestly, it's so important. Okay, let's see what I can do over here. I'm just gonna make a lot of the feed. This is also what you can do. You can just use up your crops. Right, we're just gonna harvest all of them. Okay, perfect. And you can also use some of your crops in the production. Let's just use my wheat to make some bread. And then what I can do over here is I can actually use some of the fruits to make the juices. Let's see what else I can do. I'll just make a lot of the cotton fabrics. Okay, come on, not the ad. Right. So that's what you can keep doing. For example, I'm just going to make a lot of the cold tea over there. And I'm sure that I'm going to have a lot of space right now. Yeah, I have 200 space. And I still have a lot of the actual corn and the soybeans. The reason I keep a lot of them is because they're very basic crops and you want to make sure that you always have them. And for that purpose, I'll just put a bunch of soy sauce in there just to use some extra soybeans. And if I run out of them, I can just plant them. And of course, how can I forget about my sugar mill? We need to just make a lot of the sugars. And I think that's basically it about my management. It's not a detailed video because obviously I'm making this video from the perspective of a person who comes in the game after a long time. If you want to know more information about the crops or like how I deal with them, you can check out my other crops management videos. But this is just a basic way on how I get started once I come back in the game after a long time. And of course, after this, I'm gonna make a lot of the products. You guys can see that my machines are stopped. I have a lot of space in my barn. Like I don't have a lot of products. And when I'm gonna make those products, I'm obviously gonna be using the crops. It's gonna give me some space. This way, the crops management is gonna be really simple. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know your tips on how you manage your crops when you come back in the game after a long time. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos in this series.